I bring the meeting of the Yreka Chamber of City Council to order. All rise and pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. If you have a cell phone, please turn it off. Or down, or minimize it. Public comments, this is the time for public comments. Council may ask questions, that would be you. Council may ask questions but may take no action during the public comment section of the meeting except to direct staff to prepare a report or place an item on a future agenda. Hi, Retta. If you are here to make comments on a specific agenda item, you may speak at that time. If not, this is the time. Please limit your remarks to 5 minutes. Any members of the public want to speak right now?
Sorry.
Oh, you're not a member of the public. Okay, hearing none. I was going to tell you to speak from the podium, but there's no speakers. Okay, 1, discussion, possible action, consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion unless any member of the council wishes to remove an item for discussion or a member of the audience wishes to comment on an item. The city manager recommends approval of the following consent calendar items. A, approval ratification of payments issued from December 6th through December 20th, 2018. B, approval of minutes of the meeting held December 6th, 2018. What are the wishes of the council?
I'd like to pull 1A.
Pull 1A, okay. All right, we're gonna pull 1A. What are the wishes for item 1B?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve 1B, excuse me, as it stands.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve item 1B, approval of minutes of the meeting held December 6, 2018. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries for item B. So Dwayne.
Okay, I just have
Item A.
a couple questions. I just scroll down, this new setup on mine sucks, but anyways. Down, I don't know what page it is, it's page 7 it looks like. It says CDW-G Computing Solutions, Smart TV and Speakers. And then it's down further on another page too, totaling $5,301.76. What are those for?
What page are you on?
It says on line 7,
Page or line?
Page 7.
page 7.
The new police station or the incident room.
What's that?
It's really monitors for the
It's a
police
monitor.
Oh, for the new
station.
police?
Yeah.
Why, I'm just wondering, why is it on this? Wasn't it that special funding that we already did for all this? Or is this just coming out of, 'cause wasn't this, didn't we already have all this allotted for, so this is coming out of this allotment then?
Yes.
Well, as near as I understand it, is that we pay for everything up front,
Mhm.
and then we have to request for the rural development loan to reimburse us. Is that not the way it works, Retta?
Right, so the, Fund 11 is the police department building fund.
Uh-huh.
And so what they're doing, you'll see a lot of invoices now for building contents coming through. And that's not included in the construction
Right, but
contract.
didn't we have something already allotted for the contents all on this
Yeah,
whole big
it's-
thing?
yes,
So
we
this
did.
this falls in this allotment then? is
That's
what
correct.
I guess that's my main
Yeah,
question.
but you'll see a lot of these items
Okay.
now in the next
And just
month
for,
coming through.
and just for your information, I was fortunate to have a tour last week.
Yeah.
And I talked to the chief about this, and the original cost that was budgeted for that was $22,000.
Mhm.
And they managed to get it down by using Gabe, and Gabe got some discounted good Black Friday things for us. And we
As long
ended
as it's
up
not
spending
five-finger discounts.
only 5,000 instead of 22,000. So
Awesome.
actually,
Oh,
it's a
good.
good deal,
For what?
right?
Down from 22 to 5 for?
Uh-huh. For the,
Smart, the six, like these.
Like these,
monitors
yeah.
and the
Our
instant
monitors.
room and
Oh,
this,
nice.
you know,
Great,
in the
yeah.
new police station, and they're
Nice.
going to have the cameras up there from all over the city so they can see, and then also they're gonna have the phone calls that are coming in.
I
so
know where
that
I'll be
will
watching ESPN.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
And I guess I have one other question, down on page 11, I think it is, I don't know, it shows 11 on mine. Down on page 11, I think it is, I don't know, it shows 11 on mine. Leeboy model L250T per, there's 14,900. Is those trailers that we have purchased? Is that what the Leeboy is? What page is that?
Leeboy model L250T per, whatever that is.
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
What page?
With, from.
Mine
It
shows
says
page
11 on
11,
the
but-
side, see this, like that, on the side, it's actually
That
page.
one.
Yeah.
Is it page 5? I see it in page 5.
You know, I'll have to get back to you on that. I don't remember. It looks like it's for the water, wastewater and street funds.
Oh, it comes out of wastewater then.
Oh,
Right, it looks like it's a one-third, one-third, one-third.
Oh, okay.
It is probably,
So it says Pape, so it's Pape Cap probably up in
Right.
Medford, huh?
I probably didn't look at detail of that actually, invoice on equipment, what it is.
Okay.
So I can get back to you on that.
Okay, that's fine. As long as I can know what it is. Just curious. I was like, what is a Leeboy model 2?
I have no idea what that
I
is.
know, so I'm like, what?
Matt knows.
I do not.
You don't know?
I
That's
do
your
not
department.
recognize the brand name, no.
Yeah, we don't think it's a lazy boy.
Yeah, yeah. Lee Boy.
It almost sounded like.
But it's from
almost sounded
Pape.
like a trailer or something.
I'll send out an email clarifying
Okay.
that.
Yeah, we can.
To all of us.
Yes, I will, thank you.
Okay,
Okay, I have a question.
okay, where?
You have $17,000 gift cards for Walmart. Is that for Shop with the Cop?
$1,700.
$1,700.
Yes, that would be a great Christmas.
That would be a great Christmas.
Yeah, that's-
Merry Christmas.
yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
want, is that your segue of commenting
No,
on
actually,
that?
I wasn't
Oh.
here to speak on that, but if you would like me to, I'm more than.
Here is, that's what it was.
Right, that's what I
Yeah,
assumed
the
it
gift
was.
cards for the
It
shop
was,
at the
they had
top.
43 children, you're gonna talk about it, but, and it was $160 a kid, I think.
That's good job, good.
We'll let him talk when he gets up on
Yep.
the other one on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions, on the financials?
No.
On item 1A, then I would accept a motion.
I'll move approval
I'll
of
second.
1A.
Okay, Norma, Paul, motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side? Okay, motion carries, thank you. Okay, do you want to insert so that Sergeant Booton doesn't have to stay here all night?
Yeah,
Hear a little bit?
exactly.
He's here to cover for the chief, right?
Oh,
Here
okay.
for the meeting. He wasn't here to speak, he's covering as your sergeant of arms.
Yeah, so if there's any questions about the new building, I could answer that, and
Oh, okay.
obviously you might have some questions about the shop at the cop, and I'm more happy.
Okay.
So you're crowd control tonight?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when I pulled up, there was one parking space.
Yes.
by the
Yeah.
car wash.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, man, it's packed in there.
You're lucky that you got it, I know, I pulled up and went,
Your
what the
kids
heck
did
is on the
music program
agenda?
at one time.
Is that what's going on tonight?
Yeah, it's a music
Oh,
program.
okay.
Oh,
Oh,
it's a
makes
music
perfect sense.
program.
The school does need to coordinate better with you. We used to when Jerry Jerub and Bob
Yes.
Singleton
Yeah.
were here, and when
Yes.
we used to let you guys know that something was happening,
Yeah.
and
Well, these,
you
these,
reserve this
these
parking.
places up here, the ones in yellow that say City of Yreka, they're not supposed to park there. They can park out there, but they're not supposed to be parking
We used
there.
to tell our employees not to park out there,
Well-
and the parents also.
We have to remind them regularly, right, Steve?
They've actually done much better this
Yeah.
year.
Better.
There's still some, and on when we're not open
Fridays
to
are
the
the
public,
worst.
they'll park there. But actually, they've done a pretty good job of staff. It's usually a part-time staff member that parks there now.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's
Mm.
improved dramatically.
We still need
So
to
probably I'll be gone
remind
when we get out of
them,
here,
Right.
so.
even during events, that, you know,
Mhm.
we do have meetings on Thursdays.
I'm just figuring that trying to get the word out to enough parents would be incredibly difficult, so.
Mhm.
Okay. Alrighty. So, do you wanna go through the rest of the calendar or the agenda, or let him? I guess we should, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so item 2, discussion possible action. So we're talking about canceling the regularly scheduled meetings for January. So the first one is like January 2nd, isn't it?
January 3rd, actually, but
January
yes.
3rd,
It's a lot like the second.
Yeah.
except for it's the next day.
Next day after.
Yeah.
So you're
Good
thinking of
time.
moving it to the 10th and the 24th then?
Instead of the 1st and 3rd, we're talking
Right.
about doing it the 2nd and the 4th.
And the meeting on the 10th will
Oh,
probably
Thursdays.
only be if it's needed.
Oh,
Since it's a special meeting. When we've done this in the past, what we typically do, if we move that first meeting, and that happens fairly frequently because there's just no time to put the agenda together with the holidays. And we move it to the next week and have it if needed. And then usually what happens is that we only put the item or items on that are specifically necessary and then move the other ones later on.
Actually, I would like to plan for the 10th, because to wait all the way to the 24th is too long.
Right,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
yeah, just if needed.
if needed, right.
Right.
So yeah, we would like you to schedule both of them.
Mhm.
The 10th will be if needed, the 24th we'll have regardless.
I'll
Okay.
make a motion that we schedule January 10th and January 24th for our January 2019 city council meetings.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. We rescheduled to the 10th and 24th of January. Item number 3, discussion possible action approve the transportation claim for the 2018-2019 local transportation fund and authorize the mayor to sign the claim on behalf of the city.
Didn't we miss the
Yeah,
second
we
portion?
did miss, that's what I was just gonna say, the second part of.
Oh,
what
I'm
I-
sorry. Okay, go back to 2. Okay, we set the January special meetings. The second one is discussion of a future agenda item regarding Tuesday night council
Correct.
meetings. I think there's 3 of us here that are on policy committees at the League of California Cities. They always have those policy committees on Thursdays and Fridays. And so there will be a number of meetings that I won't be able to make because my policy committee's on Thursday. At least 3, and then sometimes, and then I think the annual meeting, so that makes 4. So I know that I won't be able to be here, but you can take over.
That's fine.
So, and also, it seems like special, legislative days that they have in Sacramento and a lot of things that they do are on Thursdays. So we thought that it would be worthwhile to have a discussion about if there's any possibility of having it the first and third Tuesday of each month, which is the same as the Board of Supervisors.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
Okay. The Tuesdays is totally out for me. I've been licensed in Oregon as a CPA for over 12 years. That's the day I go over and work in Southern Oregon. I go over and work on other days too, like today I was over there for a while. But on Tuesdays, if it was regular schedule, I would probably miss 5 or 6 meetings a year on Tuesday. Because I get home a lot of times at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And I do financial reports that go to the state of Oregon for these companies. And I have to stay until they're done. And I've tried to change the dates, but the companies wanted me to come then because that's best for their schedule. So I mean, I wouldn't have run for council if the meetings were on Tuesdays. I'm open to Monday or Wednesday.
What about Wednesdays?
Wednesday's fine.
What about everybody else?
What about, won't that conflict with the planning commission meetings though? If
On
we
the
do it
third
Wednesday?
Wednesdays.
Yeah, it would conflict with them, yeah.
Oh, that's for some.
That's my concern of moving it to a Tuesday too. is Sometimes there is actually issues that have been before the planning commission that rolled
Tuesday.
over to the city council that would needs our approval on the city council.
But it can't happen that quickly.
It
If
can't?
anything, no,
Okay,
it's a public
it's still,
hearing,
we'll
so
roll
yeah.
over to another
We
time
need
then
more
anyways,
time,
okay.
yeah.
Would you like us to look and see if there are other days other than Tuesdays? I mean, this is one of those things where I know if you've run for council, you've said, hey, these first and third Thursdays for the next 4 years, you know, I make a
Committed.
commitment to go to that
Every
whenever possible.
Thursday if needed, you know. 'cause
Right,
we're moving.
and we will be looking at having some workshops that we'll need to schedule as well, but we'll wait till early next year. But it does help us as staff to have the meeting dates a little earlier in the week. That's kind of what I was putting down.
To have
So-
more time to plan the agenda and the meeting.
So we could look at it. I know that this is the kind of thing where if everybody can't do it, then we pretty much stay with what the schedule is, because that's what you signed up for. But if there is some
First and third, we
possibility.
could change it to the second and fourth Wednesdays, if the planning commission is
We-
the third.
we could look at different
Wednesday.
options if you want us to.
Okay.
But what I'm hearing
Okay.
is that there's a problem with the
Monday,
first and third
not the day,
Tuesdays.
because you-
I was gonna say,
Yeah, okay.
Mount Shasta meets, the city of Mount Shasta has their council meetings on Monday nights. I don't know if Mondays is a problem with
Mondays would
anyone.
be fine.
Monday's fine.
So as long as it falls after football season.
You're funny.
We-
Or we could put the game right up there.
Right, on silent.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, we could look at that.
Take a
And
look at
So
it.
we'll take a look at it. I appreciate being able to have the conversation, because there are some benefits to staff.
Okay.
My concern for Monday is just, that might be too early for staff to have things prepared.
Yes,
That'd be my only concern. I mean, I like Monday too, but
right.
that'd be
Tuesday's
the thing
better.
that I would want you to look at, is to see, if we're gonna be able to have things.
And I'd be concerned on the general public itself too, because Monday's usually a little more chaotic for the general public to show up on a Monday versus sometime during the week. It's
Depends
usually.
on if you have the football game on.
True.
That's
True.
true. Well, why don't we have staff look into it,
Yeah.
and then we can discuss it at another meeting.
Okay, we'll look into it. It'll be, yeah, we'll bring it up
Okay,
at some point.
all right, item number
Thank you.
10, oh, yes,
While we're on this section regarding the absentee of some of the council members, I would like to have a discussion, although it's not on here, I would like to recommend that we have Paul consider taking my place at the League of Cities on the audit and finance because of his experience background, which is so much more extensive than mine.
okay, you've already been nominated, and your name is already there, I mean, we could look into it, normally it isn't, I mean, once it's in, you don't change it until the end of the year, not the beginning of the year, in other words, the end of the next year. Do you have an interest in tax and revenue?
I would, yeah, but I don't wanna, there's a process.
Well, I wish you would have told me, because now, see, as the president of our region, I make the,
Recommendations.
I actually make the appointments for our region.
Oh.
So I've already made the appointments, and it's already gone to the board, the full league board for the entire state. I can make a phone call tomorrow and check if there's any option for making changes.
I think he's a better fit for the position. I will certainly go ahead and follow through with it if you can't change it out.
I'll look
But
into it.
yes, I think he'd be better at it. I also think better qualified for it. I also think he would be a better fit for the budget and finance with Norm as well because of his experience on the budgets that he's had in his career. And that'll still leave me on 2 boards, so I'm not just totally cleaning my plate.
C2C
And LAFCO.
and LAFCO. We're going to be making another appointment for LAFCO, by the way, for Tim
I
Stearns.
saw that, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Tim Stearns.
See, rev and tax. Okay, I'll look into that and see if it's possible. Normally, I have not seen it done in all the time I've been on there, so I'll look into it. Steve, do you know anything?
No, that's what I don't like.
Once-
Don't
Don't
say
rephrase
that, you
it.
don't
Once,
anything.
oh, do you know anything about this?
Okay, yeah.
That's the way I took it, because otherwise I would say,
Do you
sure.
know anything?
Sure, I know anything about something.
I know things.
Okay,
Thank you, Paul.
alrighty. Well, I'll look
Well,
into it.
yeah,
I'm not sure, I'm
whatever-
not sure it's possible, but I'll
whatever
look
you
into it.
guys-
Okay,
Fine.
alrighty. Okay, now I'm going to item number 3. Discussion, possible action. Approve the transportation claim for the 2018-2019 local transportation fund and authorize the mayor to sign the claim on behalf of the city. So is that the one from the last League of Cities meeting? The 92,000? No.
Nope, nope, nope.
LTC.
So what's this one?
So, Madam Mayor, members of council, this is one that rolls through us every year. This comes from the Transportation Development Act
Oh, yes.
of the 70s. And so the county receives the money through the transportation claim, and they utilize a portion of that to finance public transit. And so this year, our allocation is estimated at $284,000. The county estimates they're gonna use 197 and change of that, which leaves us $86,934, which then trickles into our streets and roads funds. And this is an annual chunk of cash that we receive through the LTC. in
This is
this
kind of
manner.
a formality.
It is.
Correct, and so the
They're giving it to
recommendation
us, and
is,
we're not gonna turn it down.
Yeah.
the recommendation is that you approve the transportation claim and that the mayor sign.
Okay, thank you.
I will, recommend that we approve make the motion to approve the transportation claim for the 2018-2019 local transportation fund and authorize the mayor to sign the claim on behalf of the city.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries, thank you. Item number 4, discussion possible action, authorize the city manager to approve a final change order, this is on North Oregon Street, bringing the existing construction contract with the Siskiyou Cascade Construction LLC for the North Oregon Street Rehabilitation Project to $1,184,180 and to execute related documents. So how much is that over?
Madam Mayor, members of council,
$4,164 over.
it is 4,000
Nah.
over the 10% that
10% of it,
you have previously.
10%
So when
overage.
we have
Yeah.
construction contracts, there's always a 10% built on top. Due to a number of unforeseen depths of asphalt along sections of that street, we needed to grind out a little bit more in areas than we anticipated from our potholing checks.
What was the
So-
depth that we were proposing that it was gonna be, and how much over is that?
There were areas of that needed to be dug down about a foot, and we had anticipated 3 to 4 inches.
Oh, really?
And
3 to
so-
4 is all we anticipated?
That's a
There
big
were-
difference.
There were areas of the street that had been overlaid in the past that never landed on the books or any kind of projects to,
Oh.
so there were
So there's
some
nothing on the
deep
records
areas.
to really know what is down there.
Correct, and that's typical, with these larger
yeah, especially
construction
that.
contracts, and then the things, similar to in what happened in front of the high school, where we opened up the street to make a water connection, and the pipe was completely Swiss cheese, and it was
Wow.
not structurally sound, so they had to chase it
Wow.
80 feet outside of the project boundary. Things like that become big dings to a $1 million project,
Right.
and hence the 10% contingency that we hold there. And then, so in the end, you've already approved the additional 10 over the base bid, and so we're $4,200 over, and this,
4164,
yeah.
yeah.
right, 4164.
Mhm.
So
Close.
this closes out the final change order to Siskiyou Cascade for the project's done.
What other things went over to meet that 10%? I know you just said the water line, you
Yeah,
said that, what else?
primarily, there were a number of water issues along the distribution system. One that really caught us were the unknown, unmarked, what we call in the trade is garden meters. Back in the, I don't know what year, they
Right.
used to allow on a handshake, you had your metered water for consumption, and if you wanted additional tap for your garden, the city would come pop you one in. And those were never mapped.
Yeah.
Again, so we found, I believe, almost a dozen of those.
wow, that
Which,
many.
when you unearth one of those, it's about a $2,000 hit to the contractor,
Wow.
because you've got a 3 to 4 man crew that needs to stop what they're doing and get over there and get that removed. So there were a number of those. We actually found 2 old hand-laid manholes that were previously
kidding.
unknown to our mapping.
Wow.
Predated every map we ever had.
Wow.
When we build these projects, I sit down with the design engineer, and we go through every single map we can get our hands
Yeah.
on, and we add that data into the design of the project. But that's one of the oldest areas of town,
Yeah.
hence the 10%, so.
I have
and
one
in
other
the end-
question on that was, whatever transpired on that gas line on Minor, next to Minor Street that caused such a havoc during the art walk and stuff? I know we talked about it at
Oh, the
a
gas
previous,
line, yeah.
Mhm.
previous city council, and we're gonna check into, see if this company was at fault or who was at fault. What did we come up with on that?
That one became a USA locate issue, so whenever there's excavations happening in the streets, the USA, you call the 1-800-USA number,
Right, yeah.
and all of the utilities go out and mark that. That one
Was
seems
missed.
to be a mismark
Okay.
and/or a depth issue. And so it was, first pull on the backhoe, the excavator came in and made his first pull, and gas lines are very rarely 3 inches underground.
No,
They're
really.
typically deeper, and found
2
a
feet
4-inch
at
gas
least.
line. And again, those gas mains, you can't fault Suburban, they took over from whoever
Right,
ran it before
right.
them, and whoever ran
I
it
just
before
was-
them, and then whoever was firing the gas lamps on Minor before that. So
Yeah,
we've got some
exactly.
old gas pipes also. so-
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't the fault of this company is
Right.
why, and that is my concern on
No.
that, 'cause if it was their fault, then they need to be liable for it, so, but if it's not, then it's fine.
Wow.
Those lines are sometimes in funny places.
Oh, I'm sure on
Correct.
this whole
I've
city of
had
Yreka, it's
Can I
that
ask you a
way.
question on the garden meters? You have to then take that pipe all the way back to you have to close that up back at the street, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the typical way that Public Works abandons live water services is to chase it back to what we call the corp stop. It's the valve that's installed onto the city main. a corporation stop, so that's our valve as the corporation. Then it comes into a curb stop, which is the one that is on our side of the meter. Then you have the meter and then the customer valve.
So that can be a real
There's
job.
3 valves on every meter, but the proper way to turn it off is to go back to the main. Because down the road, we may be digging and everyone, oh, it's dead. And it's actually a live water
Yeah.
line, so, yeah, we abandon at the main.
Thank you.
Different with sewers. We do still allow
Yeah.
them to take it at back of walk and properly cap it, so we don't get a inflow and infiltration issue into our sewer or taking groundwater, so,
Thank you.
just to close that. Thank you.
Okay, what are the wishes of the council? Oh, I'm sorry, Norm.
This North Oregon Street Rehabilitation Project was quite late. How late was it?
We did go late. Now there
Seemed
are.
like it was a month later, so.
We tend not to set a deadline on projects such as that because of these 10%
So that's
that are
what
gonna
I'm saying,
happen.
all these contingencies
So-
caused part of the problem.
Correct, and that's really what drove the extensions that I allowed to the contractors. So there's a process that happens there too, so while they were going late, it was with my permissions to go late.
Okay.
So I gave them a week here and 2 weeks there due to it being.
Just unforeseen consequences.
Right, unforeseen circumstances. So, in my opinion, I think they, what I thought their finish date was gonna be, they missed the mark by about 2 weeks.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's
Yeah.
not too bad.
No.
I thought they were pretty good, and when it finally came to it, Jimmy Heller, his crew got in there and got it paved.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought they did a good job,
Yeah, they did
if you
good.
watched everything they had to do, it was
It was
and working
complicated.
around us, working around this,
It was a sizable project.
citizens, it was, yeah.
It's a brand new water main from end to end and brand new
Good.
services from
Good.
end to end.
I thought they did a
brand
good
new
job.
Sewer laterals from
Cause it
end
was
to
more
end.
than just the water main.
Valves
and
and
the paving,
hydrants
yeah.
and curb ramps. It was
And
a
the
pretty
good
big project.
news- And the good news is, it's done.
Done. No
Yes.
kidding.
Everyone
That's
is pleased it's
That's the
done.
best news of all.
That is. Okay, what are the
Anyway.
wishes of the council on item 4?
I'd like to make a motion that we authorize the city manager to approve the final change order bringing the existing construction contract with Siskiyou Cascade Construction LLC for the North Oregon Street Rehabilitation Project to $1,184,182 and to execute related documents.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Okay, motion carries. And by the way, Paul can't go to that first rev and tax meeting because he's going to be in the middle of his new council member
Okay, I'll plan on
two-day
going.
meeting. It's gonna be complicated. I may have to appoint somebody from outside our area. Because if you're not gonna do it and if he can't make it, then I'll have to appoint somebody
I
else.
just said that I would do it. I
Okay.
would go.
All right, as long as you're there. Okay, item number 5, discussion possible action, approval of amendment to the employment contract of the city manager. So, does that go to you or to me? I think it's me. Okay, so the employment agreement for the city manager, was dated February 4th, 2010, and was amended May 21st, 2015, and it provides for evaluations. I apologize that we didn't do our annual ones, and we waited 3 years this last time, and I apologize for that. That just kind of, the time just slipped away. So the attached amendment provides for a 3% merit increase in pay and an additional week of vacation. City manager also receives the standard benefits provided for full-time management of employees. The remainder of the contract remains the same. Discussion, or what are the wishes of the council?
Only discussion is he actually uses his week of vacation.
Yes.
In a way
Yes.
that revives him.
Yes,
The relaxation clause?
Yes.
from his very stressful job, yes. Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the amendment and employment contract of the city manager.
Okay, we have a motion by Dwayne. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Dwayne, seconded by Paul. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
I'd
Okay.
like to abstain, please.
Okay. It's still a majority vote. Got that, Liz? Okay, thank you. Okay, item number 6, discussion possible action, approve supplemental appropriation of $48,747 for citizens option for public safety. That's the COPS funding that goes to our police department. Allocation pursuant to CG 30061.
Well,
Retta.
we need to do it in order to,
Right,
To
to
get
right,
the
get
money.
the
so,
money to pass through.
Right.
Yeah.
right, so we got notification from the county that there's a supplemental allocation, but to receive the supplemental allocation, we need to budget for that. And so once we approve the, budget, I can submit our documents back to the county to receive our allocation. So, and then the budget has been augmented with another half of an FTE, to the program. We used to have 2 FTEs to the program, but we cut it back because 100,000 in today's dollars about 1 FTE of a public safety officer with salary and benefits.
Okay. We can use every FTE.
Question?
Yes.
No.
Sorry.
It says it's, adds a half-time, full-time equivalent. Is that an additional officer we hire, or is this covering what we already have?
Right, it is putting back into the budget the half of an FTE. The reason it's not supplanting is because we have had 2 FTEs historically in this program, but it seemed in the last biannual budget a bit, in showing that, then, it would have shown at least 115,000 in general fund match to have 2 FTEs for a $100,000 budget, so I only showed 1 FTE effort. I did call the county and talk to them about that, and they didn't feel like that was a problem.
And so it isn't supplanting.
No,
It's not like you're.
well, no.
No, okay, yeah.
I mean, you could look at it that you are, but, in one perspective, but we historically have always had 2 FT in the program.
Mhm. Okay.
I also, did get clarification subsequent to this, whether or not a vehicle would be allowed, whether that was considered capital or equipment, to the state, and, it is considered equipment, so,
It is.
yeah,
Mm.
versus capital, yeah.
So we could use
That
it
is
toward.
good.
Right, so
A
in the
vehicle if
future,
we
we could
needed it.
also use a vehicle versus that.
Yeah.
That's good
But
news.
it's unknown what the supplemental appropriation will be each year for that. But if there are concerns, I did talk to, Bob Cummings at the county.
Okay, what are the wishes of the council?
I'll make a motion that we approve the supplemental appropriation of $48,747 for citizens option for public safety, COPS allocation pursuant to Government Code 30061.
Have a second? Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve signing on the COPS grant allocation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. No abstentions? Closed session. I believe that we're not having a closed session, so right now we'll just have, we'll have city manager and staff reports.
Sure. So I just want to mention a couple things. Some of them you've already gotten an email on. The street sweeper is back in town.
Yay, great.
Sweeping
Looking
streets
good.
or whatever. The cannabis, the marijuana regulations allowing delivery, we sent a couple letters down to the state saying, hey, we don't want it in here at all, and you shouldn't just override us. And basically, they ignored us, and they're
Wow.
planning to allow deliveries anywhere in the state. There's a little bit of, at which we have some, we like to know who's delivering.
Yeah.
And there are some regulations that may make it to where it'll be more local, but we don't know that. You know, in other words, it's one thing to have somebody coming from Sacramento delivering marijuana that we've never seen before in our lives, and kind of wonder if they're delivering marijuana to, I don't know, some other state. I don't know.
Not good, yeah.
But anyway, they ignored that.
I was afraid they would.
Yeah, and I know why, there's some language in there, but I'm not even sure that there's a lawsuit that can happen because of the way the thing was written. We also, where did that page go? Oh, I'm gonna let, an update happen by staff on the police station, but people moved in today.
Part of the
Partially,
people,
partially,
yes.
right. Not everyone, but.
They started today, right? And the front doors are now locked of the old one.
Of the old one, zip tied.
Zip tie.
Zip tied?
So they couldn't put locks on it in case, because there's still staff in there and if there was a fire.
Fire.
Oh.
Violating California Fire Code.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a
Interesting.
zip ties can break easy.
Zip
but
ties.
We've got some barricades and some signs on the doors.
That's
First time
interesting.
since 1971. Those front doors have been secured.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So I'm gonna let the mayor talk about the local transportation award for Greenhorn, if she wants to.
Yes, we had a great local transportation commission meeting. I'm still the chair of the LTC. And I was very pleased that the local transportation commission agreed with us that the city of Yreka should receive 92,000, how many dollars? You weren't there, Cindy was
No,
there.
I forget the,
That 92 and change.
92,000 and change, anyway,
Right.
funding, to complete our project. That
Nice.
would, that for the bicycle ride, right, up to Greenhorn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Does that
That's really
include
nice.
sidewalk as well?
No, I don't think so.
portions.
Portions?
Portions
Okay.
of that, if, may I expand? When we performed that road widening up Greenhorn Road a number of years ago, we had enough money by the end of the project to widen the storm drain systems, the drainage inlets, all the way out to full wide build out, full width, and get it paved out. But the connection trails and the bike lanes from the bike lanes that we installed on North Oregon that we didn't have the funding to finish that. So we've been chasing active transportation funding, ATP. Cindy and I have chased RSTP money. We've chased everything we possibly could. I believe this was the third round of ATP that we put in for it. And just by beating their brow with it, they finally saw it fit the mold exactly. So, previous years, Mount Shasta's been receiving and utilizing it for sidewalk repairs downtown, things of that nature. And this is really going to be a good connection for our bike lanes and our pedestrians to get folks to the
Excellent.
park on actual pedestrian ways. So it's 92,000 doesn't go too far, but it's gonna be a
I
great
just got the
connection.
figure. Actually, the total cost is gonna be 108,703.
Oh,
And
wow.
the Transportation Commission wanted to make certain, and Steve was there to
Yes.
attest to that. They wanted to make certain that we would have the remainder. So the actual amount we're getting is 92,939.54. So it's almost 93,000.
Right.
So that's
Big
a
chunk.
big
Yeah.
chunk toward 108.
Yeah, and that, most of you are familiar, there's the existing trail prism from the Pacific Power substation as you drive up, just going up the hill, the driveway to the substation there, it's where the sidewalk ends.
Yeah.
And so this project is going to take that ADA prism and connect all of that and get some sections of driveway approaches and sidewalks in on that side, so it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Been chasing it for a long time.
Are we
Yes.
ever gonna be in the, talking about the Pacific Power, there's kind of that little parking area that people park down there. Are we ever gonna do anything with, I know it's probably not on our big plan right now, but I know.
We don't-
It gets used a lot, it's like a big mud puddle down there.
It
So when you
does.
say, are we ever gonna do anything, you're talking about improving it or blocking it?
Well, either or, I
I'm just
guess.
asking.
I guess, I mean, no, I was talking about improving it, but even like gravel, throwing some gravel down.
Is that
It's a
even
big
our
old mud
property?
pit.
Is that our property?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's our property.
there's
It
a
is.
piece of ours in there, yes, and
Okay.
it is in the plan for the trail system.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay, I
Because
was just
that-
curious,
There
cause
are
it's like.
plans that replace that bridge with a bridge similar to the one up by the old mining town that
Oh,
we
yeah,
put
yeah.
in a number of years ago.
Oh,
The big
great.
rusted
I
metal
like
bridge.
that old bridge though, you know, that bridge's been
Yeah,
there
I
for
don't
as
like it
long
from
as
a
I can
maintenance
remember.
standpoint. I
Yeah,
tell
I'm
you,
sure
we're out
it's-
there all the time.
I
on
think
that
it's
thing.
old.
It is.
That thing is
So-
before I
Yeah.
moved there in '71, so.
Yeah, so there are plans, but they're quite a ways out to do something with that
Okay.
parking area.
Yeah, cause it gets used a lot as well, that's why I was curious
It does.
about it. A lot of people park down there, so.
So,
Cool.
two other
And the
things.
rest
that-
of your report, yes.
I was gonna do two other things. One is, I always enjoy, and it's, a lot of times it's ranchers and other people that own a lot of property where they say, hey, somebody brought me a mattress.
Oh,
Anyway, there's a new program, where, there's mattress recycling in Siskiyou County now. For us, it's out of the
Really?
landfill. And in addition to that, there's also a program, and we'll have to talk about how we take advantage of it, to get dumped mattresses. As you know, sometimes they're hanging around town or out in the hinterlands. So anyway, just mention, I sent you guys an email with the flyers on it. The other thing I wanted to just remind everyone is that City Hall and the Service Center are gonna be closed Monday and Tuesday next week. You may remember that's Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, as if you're not done shopping, you're in trouble, like me. And in addition, City Hall will also be closed on December 31st, which is Monday, and January New Year's Day as well. So just wanna make sure that you come in on Mondays and Tuesdays for the next couple weeks, you can knock on the windows.
So on the mattress recycling,
Mhm.
the Pioneer Bridge is out? Okay. That's what I've always used for recycling my furniture and mattresses is Pioneer Bridge, you know?
You know the
Don't tell the
amount,
county.
Yeah.
the interesting part is that there seems to be some sort of monetary, if I understand it right, you know, you read the flyer once, and I sent it to you, so, is that it gives you like $15 or something like that as an incentive to go get the mattress. So, there is a possibility, not to make money, but maybe not to lose as much money, for a crane on the Pioneer Bridge. They go down pretty much. So on that note, I will stop. I'm done with my
Thank you.
report, and then some.
Matt, did you have a report, or was that yours?
Did you want to?
Sergeant Booton, would
Yes,
you like to give
yeah,
us a
yes,
report
there
on
we go.
Shop with a Cop and about the new police building and all
Sure.
that? Great,
For starters, Shop with a Cop, this year was the largest event that we've ever held.
it was nice.
According to Landon from Walmart, because whatever Walmart he was in before he moved up here, he's the one that got a hold of Chief Bowles at the time, and Sergeant Betts, now Lieutenant Betts, was the one that did it the first year.
Yeah.
When we hit like 23, the second year or the first year that I did it, it was the largest event he had ever done. And then last year was 28. And then this year was projected for 43. We had a child from the campfire show up saying that some sergeant had called her and it wasn't me. And mom was in tears and I had an extra gift card, so I said, come on.
Nice.
So we had 44 children.
She was from the campfire.
Yeah, from Paradise, and they relocated to Hornbrook.
Nice,
Oh, wow.
nice.
This year was huge. We had a special emphasis on Hornbrook fire victims. Some of the fire victims, according to the school administrators from the Hornbrook fire, were already taken care of. Were better now than they had been originally because of all the donations that had occurred. So some of them weren't selected. The ones that were in need were. And then we always have children in need, no matter what happens in the county, that were selected, all those children. This year, Walmart gave us a little bit more money. The credit union stepped up, said, hey, we want to help, we have extra funds. And they donated 9 gift cards. I had 2 different church organizations donate 2 gift cards apiece, and a citizen couple gave me a gift card. I even used one of those gift cards, gave it to the fire department, because their Santa run wasn't gonna happen this year, because they didn't have enough funding for the 400 presents for kids that we're gonna do Saturday.
Oh,
Because me and Officer Taylor are donating our time Saturday, coming in uniform and grabbing a unit, and gonna do the Santa run with the fire department.
that's from the fire
I did it.
department?
I did it last year, yeah.
The fire department does gifts. I thought that came from Toys for Tots.
Nope, it's totally separate.
Oh, wow.
And I guess the Dollar Tree here didn't help them out like they did in years past. Kind of blew them off,
Oh.
only got them like, they were like 264 gifts short.
Wow.
So they went to Medford, and I was like, well, here's a gift card. If I have to take it out of my pocket, I will, as far as my own pocket.
Right on.
And then I can clear it with Bets, and he was fine. It's more, it's like, here, just take it and I'll cover it if I have to later. But so that's gonna happen now too. And I'd like to do something next year in conjunction with them, so if you have some extra money with the Shop with the Cop thing, I'd like to make sure the fire department's thing gets going.
Nice.
But based on that, it was huge at Walmart. You were there.
Mhm.
It was a
It was
huge area.
It's really nice.
The clerk Enterprises always, he usually negotiates and goes, okay, $15 a pizza. And I set aside a certain amount of money, and then he won't let me pay at the end of the year.
He
He's like, no,
donates
it's
it.
all yours. This year,
Yeah.
he's like, I said, you gonna play the game this year, Steve, and do this whole $15 a pizza? And he's like, nope, however many you need, you've got it.
And there were
Wow.
lots of
Wow.
pizzas.
50
A
of them.
lot.
50?
50
Wow.
extra
Wow.
pizzas, yeah.
For 43 kids? That's a lot of
44
pizza.
kids, their
Pizza
parents,
piece.
police officers, brothers and sisters that were there, some Walmart employees. I
Nice.
left like 6 pizzas for Walmart people that were working,
Oh, that
and
was
took one to
great.
CHP, Sheriff's Department, jail, one for
Nice.
us, and I think that was it. That was all that
Nice.
was left.
How many officers
Yeah,
were
it's good.
there? It seemed like there were more this year.
There were, cause I had to beg and tell people, hey, this can't happen without you,
Right.
and email back and forth, and get confirmation that people are gonna show up, and then Lake Chastina canceled at the last minute, but then ended up canceled the 2 officers and ended up sending 1, probably out of guilt. Wheat Police Department never participates, cause they have their own thing that they started before our Shop with the Cops, I think they're a little hurt feelings or something over that, but I
For
don't care.
who, for weed?
Pardon?
Which police department?
Weed.
The weed police,
City of
weed PD, they do their own
Well,
thing.
that's okay.
Yeah, they
That's
do their,
okay,
and that's
sure.
fine.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Sure,
I
that's
think every
fine.
community should.
But there were lots of different uniforms there, lots
Yeah.
of smiling
Yeah.
police officers and
The
lots of
teachers
smiling
always helped,
kids.
the credit union, even in the past, before they
Yeah.
donated money, they would send employees down to help wrap presents.
Yeah, yeah, the
Walmart,
teachers.
Walmart steps up huge, they even donate every year the wrapping paper and everything to wrap all the kids' gifts.
Nice.
So the kids go shopping, I stand at the register, cause some of these cops aren't really good at math. And I always have an extra and keep a track of it, so I know I'm not spending more than what we have allotted. And the 1,700 that was on the line item budget tonight, I think,
Mhm.
that was actually, Walmart had sent us a check for 2,500.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
And I always go
wow.
and get, the county gets half, we get half, so they got 2,500, we got 2,500, and
Oh,
I always
nice.
go to the county and spend all of their money right away. Because
Good job.
it'll go back into the county's fund if I don't,
Yeah, it will.
and then we
Yeah.
never see it.
Yeah.
So I make sure I spend all 2,500 of theirs. Then I spent 1,700 of ours on that. We spent a little bit on soda, plates, that kind of stuff.
Mostly water, I noticed that you had more water
Waters,
this year, I
yeah.
was glad to see that, not as much sugar for the kids.
Yeah, no, we had waters and we had sodas. If we have that many kids again, we're gonna have to do more. Because by the time I finally was able to make it to that little area,
Mhm.
there was a few pizzas left and just water.
Yes.
And a whole bunch of partially drank sodas from kids.
Mm.
Maybe they can get the little 6-ounce ones or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids won't waste them.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do this next year, I've already talked to Red about, is that the credit union had an idea, is that we're gonna open an account at the credit union under the
Oh, okay.
association's tax ID
Yeah.
number
Oh, good idea.
for Shop with a Cop.
Yeah.
They're gonna advertise it on their website
That's-
and on their Facebook, the credit union is. So people, if they want, can donate to that fund, cause it might come a time, Landon mentioned that, hey, my higher ups may not like that I give you guys $5,000 or $4,000 a year. And they might cut that, and I don't wanna see the program end, and if we can get people to donate, cause people are always asking about something. So, I planned on doing it today, but we had a lady take out a power pole down Oregon Street, so I didn't get a
I
chance to come
saw
see.
that, is
come
she
see Red
okay?
or- Yes,
She
she's fine.
sheared that off at the bottom, how
She
the
did.
heck did she do that in a 25-mile-an-hour zone?
She said she was only doing 25.
That ain't true.
You could tell by
No,
the
I
damage
saw
to the
that car, it was dented
Yeah.
completely in the
She doesn't even know how she crashed. We're gonna do a reval on her.
Ooh,
It was
Did they
time
get it?
consuming, blocking off the street and making sure that.
yeah, I saw you had it blocked off.
Did
people
they
still
get a
trying to
new
drive
pole
around.
in then?
Pardon?
Did you get a new power pole in?
Yeah, I don't know if PPNL's still on it right now or not, but,
Yep,
They
Pacific
closed it
Power
off.
showed up with a big truck
I
and,
saw it there.
Yeah.
yeah, they showed up with 4 pickups first, and we told them.
yeah,
that-
that's,
Yeah,
they
they
needed
bigger
something
truck.
bigger, yeah.
Cause they had to secure the power pole before we could move the car,
Oh.
to make sure nothing.
You had everybody out there, even animal control was doing
Yeah,
traffic.
he helps us with
Yeah,
traffic
he
control,
did.
cause we don't always have enough to handle calls
Yeah.
and be stuck on something like that.
Yeah.
But I'll get with Retta, cause I know, I was gonna go over with you some numbers as far as what I have left over from this year and what we had the last 2 years. And if we can get like a check for 1,000 to open this account
Okay.
at the credit union, and then the credit
Nice.
union's gonna donate to it, and then we're gonna have citizens donating to it.
Yeah.
Cause then I can help, cause even last year, we had a little extra money from the Shop with the Cop, and I saw a homeless guy and his little, like, 3-year-old boy at Minor Street Park, and they didn't have sleeping bags or clothes or anything, so I took him to Walmart. I did the same thing, and I told Bowles, it's like, hey, if you need me to pay the $150 out of this gift card, cause we had an officer lose one at the event, and I
Oh.
thought it was gone, and we covered it,
Turned up.
and then it got turned in, so I went and spent on this, I spent like $330 on this guy and this kid,
Wow.
and got them set up and placed down weed.
Good.
Good.
But it always goes to good use. And the credit union's gonna set it up so there's only 2 of us authorized to access the account.
Okay.
And there's not gonna be any debit card, there's not gonna be any checks. You can't just go get money out of the ATM out of this account, they're gonna issue us gift cards when we need them for the
Oh,
event.
good.
And that's the only time money's gonna come out of the account.
Good.
So I think that's a good idea, cause then like you said, the general public can donate to it. I
Yeah.
think you're gonna get a
And then
lot
there
of
won't be any,
response.
there won't be any questions about, well, where's this money going, who has access to it, did you
Right.
spend it on your
Yeah.
own stuff, it's like, no,
Right.
come on.
Right.
No,
No,
Do you
that's
have,
gonna happen.
do you have somebody at the credit union you're working with currently?
Christine, Todd,
oh, yeah.
Christine's awesome.
yeah, she actually had the idea and brought it up, and I was like, that's a great idea, because I
Yeah.
know in years past, like I said, I know in a ballpark figure of how much we've had left over, and it rolls into this fund that is the teen fund, but that's also for kids for going to the swimming pool in Montague and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And I don't want them mixed, I want them,
No.
keep them separate, and I don't wanna have
Good
to, have
idea.
to report on it all the time.
Good idea to keep it separate.
So we're gonna do that, hopefully next Thursday if I'm working in New Batano.
I think there'll be a lot of trust with the Police Officers
Yeah.
Association funding it versus the city too.
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
true.
As far as the new police department, our dispatch moved over there at 10 o'clock this morning and fired it up, and everything's working fine. They got the voice recorder over there. We're still working on the key, the little card access.
Oh, yeah.
It's a proximity thing. You get it close to it and it'll buzz the door so you can go in. So right now, everybody has to like knock and to get in to our own building. We're getting the keys put on the unit, patrol key, car keys, so we can get in any exterior door, but when you show up off duty to report to work, you're not gonna be able to get in the building until we get those cards programmed. I guess the city IT person had a sick kid today and couldn't come in, so we didn't get him programmed.
Oh,
Yeah, there's still a lot of touch-ups, there's some speaker stuff that they have to put in the ceilings for the intercom and for the, like, scanner and radio. We're getting on, some of the offices moved over, like 2 of the sergeants were moving stuff over tonight, so we have to unplug our own computers, get them over there and hook them up. The rest of the stuff we have to box up, and I guess there's gonna be a moving company coming up, dropping off box, like these cargo crates with wheels on the 2nd of January. And then on the 8th, they'll pick them up, take them over, put them in the offices, and then come back and get the crates later. So we should be totally into the building by January 8th.
Nice.
Generator works. It's an awesome facility. I wanted to thank you guys for agreeing to do it and financing the new building, because it's one heck of an improvement.
Oh,
should
it
last
sure is.
a long time.
I was in there last Thursday, and former Mayor John Mercier, I had run into him at the shop with a cop, and he said, I wanna see the new building. That was Wednesday night, and I said, well, I'm going tomorrow, you wanna go?
Yeah.
So he went, and you know, he was on the council when that was
Right.
originally, when they purchased the site, and when we approved part of it, I think. Anyway, so he was so excited. He
Yeah.
was, I mean, I was.
I wasn't as excited
was
when
impressed.
you guys first did it, and you bought the old muffler building.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't
It doesn't
I didn't
even
look
look
at the
the
architectural
same.
plans, I didn't know what they had, and I wasn't in
It
the
does
loop.
not even look the same.
No, it doesn't.
It
It's-
did not look like it was gonna work, but
No.
Debbie
It
and I
didn't.
went
It
over
didn't,
there
and I had my
a few
reservations,
weeks
and
ago,
John
and
was
it's
like,
amazing.
this
It's a
is nice.
transformation, it's really nice.
And we just had a
Maybe you
meeting
see it
tonight
now
with
with
everybody,
furniture, it's
we
really
put them all on
nice.
notice, look, this is, no one's gonna clean up after you here.
Yeah.
we're gonna have to clean up, but your food
Oh, you
isn't
got a
gonna stay
nice
in the
big
fridge. If you
kitchen.
blow up stuff in the
Yeah.
microwave, you better clean it.
Yeah.
Well, you got a kitchen, you got a workout
mother in the
room now,
living
you don't have to go all over town
Yeah.
to work out, it's
Go out at the
nice.
city yard in the old Cable 4 building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now Debbie
At
can
3 in
have
the
that for
morning,
her
you're
dog
like-
thing.
Yes.
Hope so.
Yeah, it's nice. It's, we can't get all the equipment in that room because the EOC building, the room is huge.
Oh.
And I wish the sergeant's offices were a little bit bigger, but it's okay.
It's
It's
okay.
super nice. It's very nice.
It is nice, it's
I'm
really,
gonna be out of
really
Loftus's
nice.
office now with the leaking roof and
Yeah.
the urinal downstairs that barely flushes. It's gonna be nice.
TMI.
No, they're gonna be, it's, being in that old building since I started there in like 92 as a part-time dispatcher.
Wow,
It's been a long time.
yeah.
My truck, in my mind, I'm gonna be coming down Minor Street on my way to work.
Yeah.
And it's gonna go, oh, no, I
It's
don't
gonna
need
We
to.
gotta go
wind
this
up.
way now.
It's gonna
That's a hard
wind up.
habit to break.
Yeah, it's gonna be,
It is.
so I'm gonna have to just keep going past it and go out to Fairlane.
Uh,
Right now, the lobby's gonna be open for the first few weeks,
21 years and then
for
change the
citizens to
whole
come in if they need to.
Now, when are you
report
gonna
something.
start that? In January? Cause I had told the reporter, I had an interview this last week, and I thought it was gonna be by the end of the year. It's not,
What's that?
for the tours. The chief had told me that you were gonna do some public tours.
That he didn't tell me about.
Of course not.
Yeah, I'm not sure
So-
when he's gonna do the public tours.
So at this point, first of all, we should probably, make sure that we get the official word. They're still in move-in mode at this point, that the grand opening probably, well, it'll be sometime early next year. I think it'll
Yeah.
probably be in February. You wanna
Yeah, I
make sure
think
that
it
you can
was,
get everybody there.
February's gonna be like the grand opening, like
Yeah.
a ribbon cutting ceremony,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, we need to have a ribbon cutting, but can't we do it in January? I mean, honestly,
Well,
this has been going on for
They may not
10
be-
years.
You
So-
gotta work the bugs out. They may not have, I mean,
Yeah.
if they don't get stuff moved there till the 8th, it's gonna be 7 to 10 days before they get it set up the way they want
Organized.
it, then they're gonna go, oh, this doesn't work.
Right.
So, I mean, I think you gotta give it
Then
a
you
little
gotta
time.
figure out how to use that file system.
Oh, that'd be easy.
That cranks,
Yeah,
isn't
give
that
it a
the
little bit of
one that
time.
cranks? Have you seen that?
Uptown.
It's
Yeah.
pretty
No,
cool.
everything in the facility is top notch, it's very
Top
nice.
notch and brand new, really nice.
It is gonna be nice, but right now, our police department on Minor Street is closed. People don't go there, they don't report anything there. You call 2300 phone number and it rings at both places right now.
Oh,
Um,
well, that's kind of my concern, cause you've got one closed and the other one's not open.
Well, no, it's open, people
It
can
is?
come in, people can come in and report it.
Into the lobby?
Yeah.
Once
Okay.
we're up and running fully and all the kinks are worked out, at 5 o'clock at night, that lobby is gonna be closed, the main lobby, and there's a smaller outer lobby that they're
Mhm.
gonna have an intercom or a phone system that's out of the weather,
Mhm.
that's enclosed.
I saw that.
That they'll be able to come in and contact dispatch.
Mhm.
And if they need an officer, we'll pull up out front and have contact with them, take care of whatever.
That's
they
after
need.
5?
I had
Yeah.
to tease the chief a little bit about
Much
the
more
wall.
secure environment.
Much
Yeah.
more. And every other police department, even like Mount Shasta Police Department, the sheriff's department, everybody else closes their lobbies at 5 when
Right.
administration
Oh, do they
everybody
really?
goes home.
Much
We're
more
the only
secure.
ones that I'm even aware of that have been open for all these years.
Oh, wow.
24/7 people come in.
Wow.
We had that one lady that was homeless and heir to billions.
Oh,
Wow,
that had
really?
psychological issues, and I brought her in because the psychologist and one of her family members was asking for our help. And I
Wow.
just said, well, she has nowhere to go, I'm gonna let her sleep right here on the floor in the lobby, and I went and got her McDonald's for food, because that's what she wanted.
Oh.
And then they were able to come down the next morning and pick her up and get her into some help up in
Wow.
Oregon, so.
Wow, that's nice.
I don't know how we're gonna do that in the future.
Yeah,
Have to put them
yeah.
inside the lobby, I guess, because it's secure. People will be able to go into the lobby, they can't access any of the interview rooms or the corridor to
Right.
get to dispatch.
And you got that thick glass
Unless
in
they're
there.
buzzed in, yeah,
That
it's got the
bulletproof.
bulletproof glass
Yeah.
and the bulletproof walls,
Mhm.
that cover all along dispatch, the front and side, so.
Yeah, it's nice, it's top notch. It
Yeah,
looks
but we
really
do have to
good.
work the bugs out, like with the key card system and
Yeah.
with the
I
automatic
was
gates
so
aren't
hoping that it
closing
would be
right
by
all
the end
time.
of the year. I was really, really hoping for that.
Yeah. Yeah, so dispatch is moving over first, like they're there now. Our night guy just reported there tonight. The patrol cars are all gonna be out there. So the officers will have to respond there, get a car,
Oh, good.
and then they'll get their stuff moved over. Their lockers are fantastic that they have now compared to the old school lockers
Yeah,
that we had.
yeah, yeah,
They're
it's nice.
spoiled now. They better not complain about anything.
And the covers over where you're putting the
Yeah.
The
squad
police
cars.
yeah.
Yeah, so they will be
I think we have a bet going on
frozen.
who's gonna be the first one to hit one of the metal posts.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
They're not used to that. But no, it's super nice. As long as we don't have a semi or something come off the freeway, then
Yeah.
we'll be okay.
Did we have any type of press release saying though that walk-in public can now go over there yet? Has anything been released to the newspaper?
I don't
'Cause I mean,
think
that
so.
should be a high
I-
priority.
I don't know, but I know that the chief and lieutenant are thinking about that.
They're
kind of
working
stuff,
on it.
so.
Yeah, something, that should get
He
released
released
out.
something
from the-
saying-
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have tours set up for February, I think, and, yeah, I mean, it's a huge move for you guys, and you can't do it all at once. It has
No,
to.
you can't.
It has to be done, you can't
And
move everybody
agencies,
over
One
there
department
agencies that
at a
have done
time.
that all at
and
one
dispatch all
time
at one time, it falls
typically
apart.
would give their law enforcement duties to another neighboring agency to cover for them, like the sheriff's department,
Yes,
while they did their move, and we're not doing that.
you're not doing that, no, so
No,
it's
we're not
gotta
gonna have
move
any
different.
downtime in law enforcement response and dispatch capabilities, anything.
Has
Right.
to be in waves.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
what I'm talking about as
dispatch-
far as press releases, somebody, so the general public knows where to go to
Where they are.
if they need something
Well,
done,
like
you
I
know?
said, it's
Not,
posted.
the general public
I'm
needs to
hoping the
walk in.
Lieutenant put something on Facebook tonight, cause that gets out to a lot of people
Oh, yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
He did.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
out,
Tonight?
it's
Oh,
out
yeah.
this morning. Yep.
I'm gonna look.
I haven't been on Facebook, so I didn't know that was out there yet.
Nice.
Cause that's a way to get a hold of a lot of people, especially a lot of the people that call us all the time.
You mean frequent flyers?
Yeah, and the ones that walk by to report something, they'll see the barricades, they'll see the sign on the door saying to go out to 1400 Fairlane, and they're gonna go,
I gotta walk that far?
and people I know were concerned, it's like, well, if you move from Minor Street, you know, what about our businesses that you guys drive by all the time? We're still gonna be patrolling the same areas. And people have this misconception that just because the police department is there, that we have people there watching everything 24/7. When we don't, we're out on the street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, we could be
Yeah.
anywhere, back in the sheriff's department.
Uh-huh.
and
You're
on you.
patrolling the same priorities that you had before you moved over
Yeah,
there.
it doesn't change
Correct.
You
anything
just
there.
are driving, you're leaving a different home base.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, hopefully you guys will be healthier too, because that
Yeah.
old facility
I'm pretty
with
sure I
all
got
the mold and
mesothelioma.
everything else that's gotta be floating around there.
Planning ahead for retirement, are you?
I love
Yeah.
that building.
I need like a condo in Hawaii and
Oh,
stuff.
it's a beautiful building. It was never intended to be a
No,
police department. It
no.
was a library.
County
Yeah.
libraries are gorgeous.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
I can't believe it was
Throughout-
ever
And
okay
throughout
for
the
very,
United
that.
States.
very few of them left on the west coast.
Oh, Orland still has one that's in use at City Hall.
Anacortes has one too, that's a library.
Salem,
But
Oregon
they're-
does also.
What is that old building gonna be used for?
We don't know that yet.
Don't know. I'm just curious.
There are several different organizations that have their eye on it.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
the way you're talking, the downstairs could be used for, could be a new swimming pool, I don't know. I mean, what's,
Oh, when the evidence.
There you go, kill two
Bilge
birds with
pump.
one stone.
The bilge pump is constantly pumping.
Yeah, no, I've seen both. I've seen the basement flooding and my office leaking every year. But when the evidence room flooded, that was pretty significant too. Cause it came in through the roof, through the detective's office and down into the evidence room, and I was happened to be working that day, so I just got back and mops and moving everything.
So for some
Thanks,
reason,
Sergeant.
the Facebook page isn't working, at least on my thing. I can't, I have pictures of the cars, old cars, and,
You were able to
nothing,
bring it up, right, Matt?
Yes.
nothing. Well, you have to show me what I did wrong, cause I did Yreka Police Department and
Yeah, but I would hope every one of you would get a chance to go out and tour the new building and look at it. It's pretty
Danielle
nice.
Jester from the Siskiyou Daily News would like to take a tour of it
Yeah,
pretty soon. They'd like to do a special article on it.
That was
Right.
good.
Okay.
All's well, Merry Christmas to everybody. Tomorrow I'm meeting with the 10start up on the animal control shelter facility, rather. Again, and we will get back with you on our progress after we review, and Norm can give me direction, or we can do things together, but we'll discuss everything tomorrow.
The animal shelter. And you should probably include the chief in it, because I talked to him. There's a whole fenced-in area behind there, and they've already got two or three, I think three animal areas in there. They say people show up in their lobby with a dog that they found on the street.
Oh,
So
boy, that's-
rather than have them in the lobby, they put them right there, right behind the building, right next to where the credit union's going.
Well, I wanna go into great detail so he knows what I've done, and then then we can pull the chief in, although I have brought him in a couple times before, so
Good,
I'm
but
not
good
doing
idea to
anything
keep him.
without approval.
Keep them up to date. Okay, anything else?
Nope.
No, okay, Paul.
No, I want to thank you for welcoming me at the first meeting, and just thank you for all the support you've given me, all of you.
Well, welcome.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Go on.
I went to a Siskiyou County Fire Safe Council meeting last night at the Miners Inn, and that was very, very informative. That they were expecting a small turnout, the room was totally packed, people are standing, it's somewhere between 50 and 60 people.
Great.
And they had 4 different presenters, Jason Bella, the person that gave
OES.
OES, and then they had the CAL FIRE commander for the area, and then they had someone from Reading area on fire behavior and defensible space, and then they had another gentleman who's worked with the insurance companies on how fires, some buildings are fire resistant, others aren't, and it was very, very informative. And,
How was that different than the regular?
This, the
meeting?
one that I go to regularly here is just Yreka Fire Safe
Right.
Well, that
Council.
was all
This
of
is
them.
all of Siskiyou County.
Nice.
And in the county, there's 22 different fire safe councils.
Is there really 22?
22
Wow.
different, yes. Well,
Holy
this is a
cow.
very big county.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was
So,
that
I
many
mean,
though. Jeez.
They were blown away about how many people attended. They were thinking it wouldn't be that much right before Christmas. So
Yeah.
they're planning another meeting maybe in late spring too, so that was very good.
Obviously, that was a better turnout than ours.
Yeah.
The crickets in our audience.
Yeah.
We had Sergeant Booten.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nothing else other than Merry Christmas to everyone, and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. Dwayne.
My turn.
Your turn.
So they started work on the PIT forms. We should have the, well, I suppose we're
Point
gonna have.
in time.
Yes, point in time.
Mhm.
We should have, suppose we'll have them tomorrow, but we'll see probably next week before we have our actual forms to fill out. They're definitely a lot more complicated this year, the point in time forms, because we have to get names and a lot more details this year. So it's gonna be a little more challenging getting the head count on the homeless this year. Talked to Steve briefly about working on a baseline for construction on capital improvements to raise that baseline from 20,000 to hopefully a higher limit, base limit. And we're gonna work on that here in the future, so hopefully like February, we can get on that and see if we can have a meeting on that and get that.
Question,
Mhm.
that 20,000 on the capital improvement, what date was that approved? And then what's the inflation since that time?
Exactly,
So
that's the
something-
problem, that's what was
Right,
approved
we
a
need to
long
look-
time ago.
Said
I can't remember the
2008.
date on it, but it's. I
Say
know
it
it's-
again?
2008.
Yeah,
And what was that for? The 20?
20,000.
For
It's
what?
the
Yep.
$20,000 trigger for public improvements that's built into the building code.
so it's
Maybe
definitely something we
300.
definitely have to change for sure. It's
100.
2008,
Bring
a
it up
lot
to
of
date.
things changed
Right.
since then. And then last thing I'd like to talk about is to set up a meeting for sure with the Chamber of Commerce to go over their contract. I think that's something that's, we talked about, Tony and I talked about, and we need to definitely get on that, on renegotiating their contract. When was that due? Do you remember when that was due? Their contract's up?
Oh, I don't think
It
there was an
doesn't
end date.
expire. It doesn't expire.
There's
Okay.
never an end
I
date.
couldn't remember if there was or
The
not.
only thing that it says in there that, I think we have to give 30 days notice.
Notice of termination.
That's it,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
termination.
Yeah, I knew there was that, I just couldn't remember if there was a date or not, so I think we definitely need to,
We were thinking of doing that in January.
January, okay,
After
that'd
the
be
first of
good.
the year, yeah.
I'd like to definitely be involved in that, if it's, anybody else would like to be involved, I would definitely like to be involved in that, being as I've been involved in the past.
Oh my gosh, how many years were you on the chamber board?
About
8?
normal, no, I wasn't actually, I did like a term, because we extended the term thing out,
It was,
and so I ended up doing, I think, 6 or something.
6.
Yeah.
I was on almost 8.
Yeah, were ya?
Mhm.
I knew you were a long
So
time.
so we'll have to figure out exactly how we want to approach that, because I think there's some interest in it. Could be a subcommittee or it could be a workshop, but we'll we'll work something
It
out.
might be a workshop, you're right,
Yeah.
if more than two of us wanna go,
So-
because
so-
I wanna be
Yeah.
involved.
So if I can catch up with you, Mayor, and
Okay.
try to figure out what the best method for doing that,
Okay,
that would be great.
I like the idea of the workshop, that's a
Yeah, I
good
like the
idea.
idea.
Yeah, that might be
Yeah,
good,
then we could
yeah.
all be involved, yeah, okay.
And then, nothing much else, I just would be glad to have a couple days off for Christmas this year and actually get some days off. I gotta work through the weekend, but that's okay. At least I'll have Monday and Tuesday off, so that'll be good, and the same thing. Merry Christmas to all, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good new year.
Yes, yes, I think positive thoughts.
That's
Is
it.
that it? Okay. Well, the first thing I would like to say is just welcome, Paul. And we're pleased that you're here, and I know it's gonna be a great working relationship. You have many, many years of experience
You guys are
on the
good.
planning commission, and of course, here in town, with being involved in education as well as with your Sears store, so thank you. Welcome. Liberty Arts, let's see, the day after our last meeting was the Liberty Arts show, and Don Hall, who's usually here, sitting in the back row, Don Hall did a really nice job. It was a really, really nice, I saw Andrea there.
Yeah.
But the place was packed, so that was really nice. I just love to see the community come together, downtown to support the arts. Also, we had a Ringy Pool meeting, and those are ongoing. So from now on, those are going to be, they're going to be put out to the public more than 72 hours ahead, so all of us can be there.
Right, I apologize for the error
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah, so anyway, and that's ongoing, the next meeting's in January. You are meeting with Scott Eastman. I understand it's you and Matt and Scott are meeting, according to the last meeting, you guys are gonna be meeting, and Scott's going to bring the information to you about how they do pools with the YMCA's across the nation in every city in the whole world except for Yreka.
That's because we weren't even supposed to get a YMCA, so we were lucky to even have one.
I know.
Initially, when we
Population, so-
fundraised,
Yeah.
because I was I was a
It
team
was
leader.
supposed to be one,
And
yeah.
initially, when we fundraised, the thing that we promised was that within 4
Oh, really?
years, there would be a natatorium at this YMCA.
Oh, wow.
Not a pool, a natatorium. And I mean, because I have,
What's a natatorium?
natatorium is a complex with diving pool,
Oh, okay.
a lap pool, the locker rooms and all of that, all totally enclosed. And that was one of the, then it would not have been as cost prohibitive as it is now. And that was actually one of the things, I mean, because, that probably 8 or 10 of the people that donated to me when I went out said,
We want a
after
pool.
4 years, they said,
Where's
what's
that?
going on? You promised
Wow.
this. And I said, yeah, we did. But I said, unfortunately, Clark Gilbert came along and other things, and the money was spent.
Yeah.
For a while there, the Y, I don't wanna mention any names, but, I mean, every dime was spent. They were back out just fundraising to keep it open.
Wow.
So,
remember that.
natatorium at some, makes sense somewhere in
Yeah.
Yreka.
That's too bad.
Well, Scott is at the table, as is Dr. Reynolds? What's his name? No. The president of the YMCA.
I wanna say Trevor, but I don't.
Oh, it is Trevor.
It is Trevor.
Dr.
Reagan.
Reagan?
Reagan.
Reagan,
Yeah.
Trevor
Yeah.
Reagan.
Dr.
Reynolds,
Reagan.
Reagan, started with an R. Sorry, Trevor, if you're watching.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, yeah, they're
Yeah.
both at the table, and I think there's another member of the YMCA board. And they're very, very supportive
How
of
long-term, I
helping
think it
us.
can be done.
Well, right, and this is a 4.7 or a $5 million project, and we already know that the city is not going to be able to accomplish that by ourselves. We are very fortunate that there are many stakeholders at the meeting. There's the YMCA, there's the high school, there's College of the Siskiyous, Jackson Street has been there, as well as the casino and the tribe. Who else is there? Oh, and of course Splash.
Flash, yeah.
And some other nonprofits in the area. So we've had 2 meetings now, the 3rd meeting will be in January, and so you'll all be notified before that meeting. Also, we had our Sacramento Valley Division conference call. I'm still the chair of that for the rest of this year until June. I'm still the president. So also, Rural Working Group, I think most of you, maybe not Paul, know that I was on the formation committee. Steve is also helping with that, for a task force for a rural working group. Now, the Rural Cities Working Group is about bringing all the rural cities together to give us a larger voice in Sacramento and throughout the state, because the Big Ten cities, as you know from past experience, I'm sure, get most of the funding, get most of the attention, and by pulling all of the rural cities together, we'll have a bigger voice, and hopefully be able to get more funding. I told you about the local transportation commission. We talked about shop with a cop. Oh, chamber mixer. So Minton Hometown Properties moved from the south end of town to right across from Wymo, and they had a really, really nice chamber mixer. The place was packed, wasn't it, Steve? I think Steve and I were the only ones there.
I know, I
Was
should've
anybody
went
else
to
there?
that.
It was really
I
nice.
did some of the work there, so I should have
Ray
went
was,
there.
yeah, you should've.
Oops.
Ray was really proud. He and his wife both, and they worked really hard on it, and it was beautiful. I thought they did a really nice job. YMCA, Ugly Christmas Sweater Run. Were you
I
in
did
that?
not do
You didn't do it this year. Okay, that was on the 15th, and
I
then.
actually had bronchitis since last we met.
Oh my goodness.
I'm still
That's-
not done
That's
with
why
it.
your cheeks are red, yeah. Chamber meeting, okay, and, and to let you know, I see this, may I borrow that for a second? So, at the last Lola meeting in Weed, Yreka drew the short straw. No, we volunteered. We volunteered
I think
to
he
have
popped
the
up and
meeting,
said it.
and so, it's going to be at the Wine Bar and Bistro. It's going to be on January 9th, which is the second Wednesday, I believe, in January. The mayors, have the meeting first, and then we make our appointments for the committees that need it, like, LTC and LAFCO. $30 a person, and you do have to RSVP to Liz. Okay.
I did.
Yes, I heard from everybody but Dwayne and Paul from our report.
Dwayne,
And
Paul,
Joan, so that you know, we
Dwayne,
might have a snafu.
Lola.
When they send it out, they're having each individual city member contact me, which is gonna be kinda chaotic, so I won't know. I'll know
No.
if my people have an RSVP, but I
Lori
won't
is supposed
know.
to do that, I thought.
She sent it out and told everybody individually to
To contact
RSVP
you.
me, and it should be the cities, but
Yeah.
Who do we RSVP to?
to me.
So our city members do, and then they're supposed to do their cities, and then the cities are supposed to get back to us, so that we know, we do have to have the numbers. And you did send that out, or somebody did, by January 3rd, I think we have to know.
Lori did.
How many people. Now, we did that, last year before last, at the wine bar, and
Yeah.
I think we had like 35 or
Yeah, it was
40
a good
people
turnout.
there.
It was packed.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
it was
packed.
packed.
Good.
So, anyway, it's our honor to do that, so I'm glad that we're gonna do that. And I think that's the last thing, other than the chamber meeting, the renegotiation thing.
Yeah, definitely do
So
that.
it's been busy, but
Oh,
Merry Christmas, everybody.